It's funny how life seems to change its pace as the years go by. There's a gentle, almost imperceptible shift that happens after we cross that magical age of 60. It's not as if we wake up one day and everything is suddenly different. Instead, there are these subtle transformations, these little things that slowly fade away, and while it might sound bittersweet, it's perfectly okay. In fact, embracing these changes can lead to a more authentic, richer experience of life. Today, I want to share with you 9 things that quietly fade away after 60, and I promise you, they each come with their own unexpected gift. I remember talking with a friend not too long ago who mentioned how much simpler life had become in his later years. He spoke about letting go of the endless hustle, of not needing to prove himself every single day. And as he talked, his eyes sparkled with a kind of peace that comes only from knowing who you really are. It made me think of how, in our youth, we cling to dreams of grandeur, certain that every moment must be filled with constant excitement and ambition. But with time, we start to value calm, genuine connection over the noise of superficial expectations. It turns out that as some parts of our youthful identity gently fade, they leave behind space for wisdom, acceptance, and a renewed focus on what truly matters. One of the most noticeable shifts is in the way we view success. In our younger years, success might have been defined by career achievements, the thrill of recognition, or the pursuit of material possessions. But as the years roll by, the loud, clanging trophies of the past give way to quieter markers of a life well lived, a deep sense of contentment, the warmth of lasting relationships, and the satisfaction of knowing that you've made a difference in someone's life. Research shows that seniors who redefine their idea of success to focus on personal fulfillment and meaningful connections tend to enjoy greater emotional well-being. It's as if the fading of old metrics of achievement creates space for a richer, more personal sense of accomplishment. Another quiet change is how we perceive our health. When we were younger, every ache or pain was met with a sense of urgency to fix it immediately. But as time goes on, many of us begin to understand that our bodies have their own rhythms and stories. There's a slow, natural fading of the notion that every little discomfort is an emergency. Instead, we learn to listen to our bodies, to distinguish between a fleeting moment of discomfort and something that truly deserves our attention. I've known many seniors who now approach health with a gentle curiosity, exploring new forms of exercise, meditation, or nutrition not because they're chasing a youthful ideal, but because they're embracing a lifestyle that nurtures both body and spirit. In fact, studies have found that seniors who adopt a mindful approach to health not only experience fewer health-related anxieties but also report a higher quality of life. Speaking of health, there's also an interesting shift in our relationship with time. In our younger days, time seemed both abundant and overwhelmingly scarce, a paradox that fueled our drive to cram as much as possible into every minute. But after 60, time starts to settle into a more forgiving rhythm. The relentless pressure to always be on fades away, replaced by a sense of calm that comes from knowing that every day offers a new chance to enjoy the moment. This subtle transformation is not about the loss of energy, but rather the gain of perspective. The hurried pace of earlier decades gives way to a more deliberate, thoughtful way of living. And while it might seem like we're losing something, what we're really gaining is the ability to savor life's small, precious moments. There's also a shift in how we handle our relationships. In our youth, we might have believed that we needed a wide circle of friends and a bustling social calendar to feel validated. Yet, as time goes on, many of us discover that quality trumps quantity. The noise of countless acquaintances and fleeting interactions fades into the background, leaving behind a core group of people who truly matter. These are the friends who have seen us through thick and thin, the family members who offer unconditional love, and sometimes even the gentle neighbors who become an unexpected source of support. The evolution of our social circles can feel like a loss at first, but it's often the case that with fewer, deeper connections, our emotional world becomes richer and more stable. And isn't it wonderful to know that in our later years, a simple chat over tea can mean more than any large, boisterous gathering ever did? As our relationships change, so too does our inner dialogue. Many of us carry the weight of past worries and self-judgment for decades. After 60, however, there is often a gradual quieting of that inner critic. The voice that once constantly compared us to others or berated us for our perceived shortcomings begins to soften. This doesn't mean we suddenly become free of regrets or that we never reflect on the past, but rather that we learn to accept our imperfections with a sense of humor and grace. It's as if the loud, unforgiving critic inside finally steps back to let wisdom take the lead. I once met a gentleman who shared how, after his 60s, he found that the constant need for self-approval faded away, replaced by a deep-seated confidence that came from truly accepting himself. It's a beautiful reminder that aging brings with it not just challenges, but also profound gifts of acceptance and self-compassion. I'd like to take a moment here to invite you to share your own experiences. If you've noticed any subtle changes in how you view your health, relationships, or even your own self-talk, please feel free to leave a comment. Your stories are not only valuable, they're a beacon of inspiration for others walking a similar path. And if you enjoy these insights, consider subscribing for more friendly chats and practical wisdom. It's always a pleasure to have you as part of this community. One of the quieter things that also tends to fade away is the frenetic pace of our digital lives. The rapid pace at which technology evolved in our earlier years might have once felt overwhelming. Many of us remember the days of clunky cell phones and basic computers. Now, as seniors, we're embracing technology on our own terms, carefully and confidently. There's a shift from the rush of trying to keep up with every new gadget to a more selective approach that prioritizes what genuinely enhances our lives. It's not about becoming tech experts overnight. Rather, it's about finding comfort in using digital tools that help us connect with loved ones, access important information, or even explore new hobbies. Recent surveys suggest that seniors who engage with technology in this mindful way not only feel more connected to the world around them but also experience a boost in confidence and independence. Closely tied to this is the gradual lessening of our need for external validation. Earlier in life, many of us sought constant reassurance from others, whether it was through social media likes, the applause of a crowd, or even the compliments of colleagues. With age, there is a quiet retreat from that need. We come to understand that our worth isn't defined by the fleeting approval of others. Instead, we learn to trust our own judgment and celebrate our unique journey. This shift can be incredibly liberating. I've heard from several seniors who mentioned that, over time, the pressure to always impress faded away, leaving them with the freedom to simply be themselves. And in a world that often seems obsessed with external accolades, that inner freedom is something truly remarkable. Another aspect that seems to quietly dissolve with age is the constant fear of change. When we're young, change can feel like a whirlwind, unpredictable and sometimes downright scary. But as we accumulate years and experiences, we begin to see change as a natural part of life. With this understanding, the anxiety that once gripped us at the thought of the unknown gradually subsides. We learn that every change, no matter how small, is an opportunity for growth, a chance to learn something new about ourselves. This isn't to say that change is always easy, it still takes courage to step into unfamiliar territory. But what it does mean is that the fear of change diminishes, replaced by a quiet confidence that we have weathered many storms before. And as research indicates, seniors who embrace change with a positive outlook tend to enjoy better mental health and a greater sense of control over their lives. There's a certain beauty in the gradual fading of the frantic race against time. As we enter our 60s and beyond, the relentless chase to meet deadlines, achieve the next big thing, or keep pace with an ever-accelerating world slows down. It's as if time itself softens, allowing us to appreciate the present moment with a clarity that was often lost in the busyness of our earlier years. I recall a conversation with a lady who mentioned that she no longer checks the clock every few minutes. Instead, she simply enjoys her morning tea, listens to the chirping of birds, and savors the simple pleasures of each day. This slowing down isn't about losing relevance or energy, it's about rediscovering life's gentle rhythm and finding joy in the here and now. And then there's the fading of superficial worries about physical appearance. In our younger days, there's often a constant preoccupation with how we look, how others perceive us, and whether we're meeting society's sometimes unrealistic standards. But after 60, many of us begin to let go of those superficial concerns. The mirror no longer holds the same power as it once did, not because we've become indifferent, but because we've come to value the inner light more. This change can be incredibly empowering. It reminds us that beauty isn't defined solely by external features, but by the depth of our character, our kindness, and our life experiences. In fact, many seniors share how liberating it is to look in the mirror and see a person who has lived through rich, varied experiences, a person whose true beauty lies in resilience, wisdom, and love. Each of these gentle shifts is a reminder that while some things fade away, they often make room for something more meaningful. As you listen to these reflections, I encourage you to think about what has quietly changed in your own life. Perhaps it's the way you view success, your relationship with technology, or even your inner dialogue. If you find these insights resonating with you, please consider liking this video, subscribing for more thoughtful discussions, and sharing your thoughts in the comments below. Your feedback not only enriches our community but also helps guide future conversations. As we near the end of our time together today, it's important to remember that the fading of certain aspects of our lives is not a loss but a transformation. It's a natural process of letting go of what no longer serves us, so that we can make space for new experiences, deeper relationships, and a more profound sense of self. The quiet changes that come after 60, whether it's the redefinition of success, a softer inner voice, or a more measured pace of life, are all signs of growth and maturity. They signal that we are not the same people we once were, and that's something to celebrate. I want to leave you with a final gentle invitation. Reflect on the changes you've observed over the years, the quiet fades that might have once seemed like losses but are really just transitions to a richer, more authentic way of living. Think about a moment when you let go of a worry, a habit, or a need for approval, and felt a surprising sense of relief. And if you have a story like that, please share it with us. Your journey can be a beacon for someone else navigating their own path in later life. This conversation is more than just a reflection on aging, it's a celebration of the wisdom that comes with experience, the peace that emerges when we let go of unnecessary burdens, and the freedom that follows when we choose authenticity over pretense. So, as these 9 things quietly fade away after 60, let's embrace the space they leave behind. Let's fill it with moments of joy, the warmth of genuine connections, and the quiet confidence of a life well lived. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I hope these thoughts bring you comfort and inspiration. If you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this message with a friend who might need a little encouragement. And if you have any thoughts or experiences you'd like to share, please leave a comment below. Your voice is important, and together, we can build a community that values every chapter of life. In the end, the quiet fade of these 9 aspects of life is not something to mourn, but something to appreciate. It is a sign that life is unfolding exactly as it should, with new opportunities emerging in the space left behind. Every wrinkle, every gray hair, every softening of what once was sharp carries a story of perseverance, growth, and love. It is a testament to all the adventures we have embarked on, the challenges we have overcome, and the wisdom we have gathered along the way. So, as you go about your day, take a moment to savor these subtle changes. Embrace the gentle rhythm of life that comes with age, and know that it is perfectly okay to let go of the old to welcome the new. Life after 60 is not about losing something, but about rediscovering the beauty of being truly yourself, a journey marked not by the things that have faded, but by the light that continues to shine within you. And remember, every time you find yourself worrying about a change or missing something that once was, try to see it as a natural part of life's tapestry, a pattern that makes your story uniquely yours. With every passing year, you add another chapter filled with resilience, warmth, and the gentle acceptance that only time can bring. Embrace it, cherish it, and let it inspire you to live each day with gratitude and joy. Thank you once again for joining me in this exploration of life's subtle transformations. Stay curious, stay kind to yourself, and never forget that even as certain things quietly fade away after 60, what remains is a life filled with deep meaning, cherished memories, and the promise of many more beautiful moments ahead. If this message touched your heart, please remember to like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment with your own experiences. I look forward to hearing from you and continuing this warm, ongoing conversation. These videos are created with care. If you notice any mistake or anything that could be improved, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Your help truly matters. Take care, and until next time, keep embracing the journey with all the grace and wisdom you carry within.